Welcome aboard the Pete Sousa Show. It is a Thursday afternoon, a football Thursday. Let me pop my chair up a little bit here. Boom. The chair's popped up. And look, we want to start today talking about the NFL. And it is a huge night if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I know I have a Raiders sweatshirt on right now. That's because the Raiders personify the NFL. But the game tonight that everybody's going to be watching. I am actually going to be on a plane going to Colorado for a football game on Friday. But I will be dialed in watching the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Washington Commanders. This has got to be the best. I don't remember a better Thursday night football game presented for us in a very long time. Out of the gate, oh, by the way, thank you to Slovakics. Thank you to Crawford Alston Properties, and thank you to all of our sponsors, and especially Daniel Stark, D1, and of course, First National Bank of Central Texas. All right, we're going to give Matt Davis a call here in a second. Matt is boots on the ground, of course, my former Richmond football teammate. He is a prognosticator by night, a real estate agent by day. The guy is... I guess if he was a little more big time, he wouldn't have to tell me to hang on. He has to open a door for a showing. But maybe that's how real estate agents do it nowadays. I don't know. All I know is the guy had the softest hands of any tight end in college football in the mid to late 90s. That's not a lie. Matt Davis was recruited by everyone in America. Somehow we got him at Richmond. Actually, I know why, because he bungled his own recruiting process. What are you going to do? He tried to keep John Cooper in Ohio State waiting. John Cooper said, hey, buddy, scholarship's gone. We got to move on. We got Mike Vrabel over here ready to play linebacker. We're going to be okay. How about Eddie George, Matt? Think we can live without him? No. So we got to keep these scholarships in-house. All right. Let's see what Matt says here. Scotty, can you shut the door? I opened it because it gets so hot in here. All right, let's try Matt, see if he's showing a house or not yet. Back in the day when Matt and I were in school together, he would say, the former Redskins. There he is, Matt Davis. Now, the Commanders used to be the Redskins, and when Matt in college was going to bet on the Redskins, he would say he was hitting the skins, baby. So, Matt, are you on? By the way, great job with the graphics, Scotty. Scotty's got your graphic up. We're rocking and rolling. All right, Matt. Tonight's game. I know you're in the middle of showing a house, and if you lose this bet, you're going to be showing houses till you're 90 years old. We don't want that. So, what's the story? Who do we like tonight?
I like the Redskins plus the points. 3.5 is what I'm looking at now. I just think it's a good spot for them. I think that they're ready to take control of the NFC East. It's their time, and I think they're going to get up for this one. I think they got a little bit of a wake-up call last week against the Steelers. When I say wake-up call, they knew what top competition was, and they competed, but they have to clean some things up. And I think this is the week they clean up the details and do the little things right. So I like them. I know you're a big Philly fan, but I think it's time for the Commanders to show who's boss in the NFC East.
All right, 2 more questions for you because I know you got to go. Where can the Eagles exploit the Commanders? Like, what have you seen from them where they've been vulnerable this year?
Well, I love to see this guy Marcus Lattimore in the lineup, but he's still got that hamstring. So I think we're a little bit susceptible to the pass. The DBs have been not playing as well late in the games. Against the Steelers, I thought we gave up some passes and made some mistakes. I love our linebackers. I think our defense is playing very, very well. We got a few injuries on the offensive line, so that could be a factor. But I think, running the ball, obviously Saquon Barkley would be the best running back they'll see to date and by far. So I think stopping the run is going to be a big deal for the Redskins or the Commanders, and really defending the pass against some of these elite wide receivers, especially A.J. Brown. I think that's where we're going to need to, really focus on. I think that offensively, we're going to be able to move the ball. We got Brian Robinson back, and I think, Jaden Daniels seems to be one of those type of players that gets up for big time games. And we're going to see what he has today, really probably against the best team he's seen. I put him right in that category with the Steelers. So see how he performs, but I think we'll put up the points. I think we'll move the ball offensively. I think defensively is where I'm worried. that we show up and we have to stop Saquon Barkley, or that opens up everything for Hurts in the Philly offense.
And I think we're going to learn a lot about Jaden Daniels tonight, right? This has got to be probably the most toxic environment as an opposing quarterback he's going to enter so far this year.
Absolutely. You know, you get the benefit of playing the tough Steelers team at home. And, you know, let's be honest, he was okay. I mean, he had a lot of drop passes. There were a lot of things that happened in that game that could have gone better for him, but he just played okay. He didn't play, you know, I think it was 9 out of the first 10 weeks as the offensive rookie of the year and the rookie of the week in the NFL. You know, he didn't give that kind of performance last week against a really decent TJ Watt led Steelers defense. And this week he's going to get much the same. And like you said, a hostile environment with Philly fans. They boo Santa Claus. You know what I mean? It's not anybody's favorite place to go and play. And yeah, he's gonna really have to step up. But he just seems like that type of player to me, that the bigger the stage, you know, the bigger the performance. And I think we're going to see, you know, something special tonight out of him. And you know, when we say special, we say, you know, you maybe run for 50 to 75 yards, throw for over 200, and not have any turnovers. You know, and that's the key to the offense. There is for him to protect the ball and not have any turnovers. And I think if we do that, we have a really legitimate shot of competing with the Eagles. And you know, again, I've been a fan for forever, and the last 20 years plus, it's just been tough. I'd like to see them win a game they're not supposed to win, take control of the NFC East, and really solidify themselves in the playoffs.
You know, one thing I'll mention, you bring up a great point with Daniels. He's playing his 11th game, right? I think tonight, and he's got just 2 interceptions. So that's a huge thing. One other note for you, I had Sidney Fugar up here last week, the Baylor offensive lineman from Waldorf, Maryland.
Yeah, so I saw it when we did the game.
Yeah, I was telling him all about you. I said, you got to look this guy up. He was the best tight end in the history of Waldorf. I told him that. All right, so here's a question for you. November 30th, ESPN has called us again. I'm going to be calling a game. We're not sure where. Is my spotter going to be able to make the game?
I told you, I have a family wedding in like the Salisbury area of Maryland, and
I think that takes precedence. I think that takes precedence.
We get a 29th Friday game, and I'm gold. But we'll see what we get. I mean, if we're calling Ole Miss Mississippi State, you know, I'm going to be there. But
rest assured, we're not going to have that problem.
I thought so, but no, I we'll make it happen. And you know, I had a feeling that this was going to happen after Thanksgiving, that we were going to get a game, but we'll make something happen for sure. All
right, Matty D, get back to work. We appreciate the time, brother.
Literally showing a house right now. Literally showing a house.
Bye.
Talk to you, buddy. Bye.
Well, there you go. Matt Davis, Johnny on the spot, stepping up. Now, Matt Scotty was the guy. He was when we were in college. He's got the it's in his bones. You know, the gambling. He couldn't stay away. Now, he didn't bet on any of the games he played in.
That's good.
Yeah,
generally advisable. Yeah,
especially back then. It's different. That's a great example, though, guys. And we could go down this rabbit hole. But guys from the University of Richmond or schools like that, you know, small Division I schools that are like opening the season with like Virginia and Wake Forest, like, you know, those are bigger games for them that get big numbers. Like, yeah, I still think those guys are vulnerable now. In environments like that, young athletes,
yeah,
you know,
totally.
And Charlie Baker, the president of the NCAA, will try to tell you that they're not, but they or he tries to downplay it, and says that, you know, everybody's doing it, or, you know, I forget exactly the vernacular he used when he spoke to us at ESPN. I do forget. I don't want to misquote him, but I think those prop bets for young guys are a danger zone, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. A danger zone. I also, Baylor coming up. We're going to talk to Blake Blackmore in a little bit.
Blake Blackmore, yes, sir.
Yeah, Blake Blackmore. My bad. And what was he part of? The meat.
Cam mentioned earlier, he's part of the Baylor Meat Mafia.
I cannot wait to find out what the Meat Mafia is all about.
I'll let him tell you then.
I'm looking forward to it. So we got Blake coming up in 10 minutes.
You know, everybody finds a great hobby post-football career.
Yeah.
And Blake has found his calling. I'll just put it that way. You can ask him about it.
And so who was the head coach when Blake was there? He did play for Matt Rule. He played 2 years for
So
Rule.
Blake went through it, man. So Blake came in under Bryles.
Yeah.
Redshirted under Bryles. I believe played 1 season as a freshman under Bryles. Then
Was Jim Grobe.
went through the transition with Jim Grobe, which was a full season, and then played the first 2 years under.
So he did get to that bowl game.
He did, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he
the Texas Bowl where they beat Vanderbilt.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a redshirt freshman. He did not play in the 2014 Big 12 championship. So he had that high, even though he wasn't on the field yet.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
Went through the whole spiral downward transition, the 1-win season in 2017.
And stayed.
Oh, yeah. And was a starter, I believe, at least 3 years, if not 4, after he redshirted. I mean, he was a long-term player.
Was he on the Bear With Me pod?
He did come on.
Yeah.
Please bear with me a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bear With Me was a big deal.
I don't know about a big
I
deal,
think it was
but
a big deal.
We had a good time. I think we might bring it back next fall.
I've done some research on Bear With Me because it was gone. It was gone before. I guess 2023 was your last.
Well, so I created it, and I hosted it for 4 years through the 2021 season.
Yeah.
And then, I actually handed it to another guy who created it for 2 more years. And then, at the beginning of, so I guess maybe I went through the 2020 season. I don't remember. And then I handed it to another guy who hosted it for 2 years, and then we both dropped it.
Yeah.
And we're going
to bring it back.
We might bring it back.
It's coming back.
We might.
All right. Don't start any rumors yet, guys, but it's coming back. Wink, wink. Another wink, wink. So Baylor, West Virginia, coming up this weekend in Morgantown. Obviously, we'll talk to Mr. Blackmar a little bit about that and the environment that the Bears are headed into. West Virginia, I have on pretty good authority that Garrett Green is going to play. And he's been practicing a lot, and I think he will play. We'll have to see exactly what happens. That's not let's not take it to the bank lock, but that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that they're leaning towards Garrett Green playing, which to what Scotty said yesterday or 2 days ago, that could be a tough deal for Baylor because Garrett Green is a dual threat guy. And this game now is starting to look tougher and tougher to Baylor, especially if Garrett Green is healthy. West Virginia's defense has been solid this year, and I feel almost as though this team is rallying around Neil Brown. Neil Brown slowly becoming the Wayne Fonts of the present-day Big 12. And if you remember, Wayne Fonts was the head coach of the Lions. Every time it seemed like Fonts was going to get fired, the Lions would go on a run and make the playoffs. And don't look now, but I'm going to tell you something that'll blow your mind. And I'm sure there's whispers of this in Morgantown. There is an outside shot. Now, I don't want to be one of those guys that's like, I looked at all the scenarios yesterday, right? West Virginia could not only make the Big 12 title game, but if they were to win the Big 12 title game, Gesundheit, to my man Cam over there on the other side of the room, and if things were to change, right, if they were to win the big title game, first of all, they have to get there. But if they get there, they'll go on a roll that could have them ranked in the top 20. Now, if they get there and they're the highest ranked of, like, as far as the 4 of the conference winners, the championship winners of the conference, they could actually get to the playoff. Like, it's a possibility. And so that makes things a little scarier for Baylor because the reality is in the West Virginia locker room and around the team, they're talking about getting to the Big 12 title game. They can do it. And the way that the tiebreakers, it is so super weird. And although I am all over the Big 12, I am not smart enough to sit here and explain them to you, but they favor West Virginia. I was listening to it yesterday on Sirius Radio on the college football show. The guys were talking about that they favor West Virginia and they're super clunky. So there's just a lot going on here. I said yesterday that if the game was at nighttime, I would take West Virginia, but it's in the afternoon, and I wanted to take Baylor. And remember now, we're talking about the Northeast and after daylight saving. I mean, it gets dark early, so Hopefully it won't get dark early for Baylor. But if you can't tell, your man over here is waffling just a little bit. Let's look at this. I have not looked quite yet at what a first segment, by the way. This is I'm pretty excited about this. Let's see. Let me get the schedule here. I'm sorry, guys. Schedule for this week, and then I'll get it right to you. Here is the Big 12. We're talking about, as we say in Philadelphia, Saturday. And here it is. Baylor, West Virginia. 6 o'clock kickoff. Wait a minute. 6 o'clock. Oh, no. I was about to say. Baylor's a 2.5-point favorite. Whew. Well, that's good news if you're a Baylor fan, because those people know more than I do. I don't care what. Actually, maybe I do. Maybe I know more than them right now. I got the inside here. What am I talking about? If the Pete Sousa show is picking up the steam like you and the numbers say, maybe this line will move, because I'm telling you, I believe that Garrett Green is going to play. And I'm also telling you that West Virginia has a lot to play for, and they're rallying around Neil Brown. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted, as they say. I'm still going to be pulling for the Bears, but Baylor is favored by 2.5 points. 58.5 is the over-under. Cam Stewart of Locked On Baylor will be joining us in the third segment as talk around this game heats up. And Cam did say over the course of Baylor's winning streak that they have put together, the defense has not been out of control. Good, which is what you look for out of Dave Aranda. Now, maybe that's a great sign. Maybe the offense has put up big numbers, and you give Dave. By the way, Dave Aranda, right? 2 weeks to prepare for this West Virginia offense. Problem is he doesn't know who's playing quarterback, but we do, right? All right, Blake Blackmar coming up on the other side of the break. Cannot wait to hear his take on all things Baylor football, and we're going to find out where the beef is, and I think it is with Blake. We'll be right back.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.